We're back. Oh yeah. And today we're talking about 5 mods. Now I'm not talking about mods as some people would say wheels and stuff, unless we're talking maybe carbon fiber. That, yeah. So yeah, today's video is gonna be talking about that. So 5 mods that I recommend that I would choose if I just recently got a 3 valve and want to pimp it out per se. Got the car here. It's a little dirty. Some people are always like, why do you drive it, man? You're putting miles on that car and that paint job, bro. Listen, it's a wrap for one. And two, it's just a GT. I mean, if I had a GT 500 or Lamborghini or something crazy, I'd still drive it. Anyway, it's in the garage once again. As you can see, the weather doesn't look too great. It's supposed to be raining soon, maybe some hail later. So yeah, there's all that. So we're gonna do it in the garage once again. And here's my pick. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully this kind of helps some of you guys out. Who knows? There's a huge aftermarket world for these cars. And let's just dive in, shall we? Thanks.
All the amazing work that has been done to my car, plus more that I just could not fit on this little board for a car show. Yuck.
Anyway, getting back to it, check out the new Midwest Modified sticker. Looking good. Part of the group. Actually, I'm an admin of the group. A lot of great people there. And where should we start? Let's just start. So let's dip into it. Number one. What would I pick if I started with a 3-valve? Well, this carbon fiber hood. Great modification. Actually, no. It's the exhaust. Now, the exhaust in these cars, you can make them sound spectacular. I think the 3-valve, 2 valves, all the 4.6s in general, and that those years and stuff, even the old schools, cammed out with a nice exhaust, they sound sick. But you can also get some good power. So number one, I would have to say exhaust. And there's so many different combos that you can go with. In my car, right here, yep, it has pipes, long tube headers, pipes catted H pipe now. It used to have the off-road X pipe, but we switched out because it's too raspy and high-pitched, and I think I'm just getting old. But Flowmaster Outlaw catbacks out the back, and it's a great combo for me. I love the sound of it. Going catted H pipe made it a little more deeper. I might throw that clip in here just a little for you guys. And then, but yeah, I would say your exhaust is great. I would recommend going long tubes rather than shorty. Shorty, I guess, for your turbos and whatnot, but long tubes is a great way to go, especially NA or even supercharged. But just dig into it, look into it. You get a little bit more horsepower, I believe, just going long tubes. And yeah, that's about it for number one. So yes, my recommendation, long tube headers instead of shorties. Now, people got their preferences. Like I said, there's many combos out there. You can dig it. But number two, what would I do for number two? Well, suspension. If you like to track your car, maybe go on those back roads and really handle those corners well and make sure they hug, a nice suspension will do you good. Whether it be coilovers, springs, some people even airbag. So it's really up to you on your preference, again, what you want to do to lower your car. Now, if I can just sit down here, I am lowered about 1.5. I think it's settled about 1.8. I believe the front is just a little lower than the rear. I'm sure you guys can see that. What I have is BMR performance springs, lowering springs, and it's a 1.5 drop. And then I have the BMR camber bolts, BMR adjustable panhard bar. I think I'm missing a few things. I got the Bilstein, whatever. I'm probably messing that word up, but the shock struts and stuff, that's my combo right there. And Steeda bump steer kit? Yeah, the Steeda bump steer kit. So yes, I think suspension is a good one. Man, this thing is dirty. But suspension, I think, would be a great number two performance or, modification to the car, because it does have to do with your handling, hitting the corners, whether you want to track the car, even drag race by getting some drag springs on there and whatnot. They have, like I said, many combos or different combinations you can use for springs or a setup that you would like. Personally, I would stay away from SR, but that's just me. That's just me. But yes, I would say suspension would be a good game changer. But I'm gonna admit, where I live in Wisconsin, we got potholes and stuff like that, and I tend to scrape a little bit here and there. It's just the way it is. It's life. All right, get over it. This car, I love it that it's lowered, but I also hate it because, like I said, I bump into little things here and there, no big deal. But when I corner and, say track the car, man, it handles really nice. And with that whole combo, I did have a motor strut bar, or you're gonna call it engine strut bar, blah, blah, blah. So many people have different ways to say it. That also helps as well. So basically a lot of things you can do for your handling of the car in general, upper and lower control arms. I mean, I'm throwing a bunch of stuff in there for number 2 now, but that's a lot you can do to improve your performance as in like handling. And trust me, you're gonna thank me later if you do it. All right, so on to number 3. I would say number 3 is pretty easy, pretty affordable, and I mean simple. I would hope so for some people. But a colder intake. I mean, can't really go wrong with a colder intake. But with that colder intake, I would suggest you get a tune. So this is kind of, number 3 is a combo of 2 things. So colder intake with a tune, you know, nice handheld tuner programmer, whatnot. Those actually go a pretty long way. And I got one that's a Rev X tuner, and I mean, it treats me really well. I watch everything that's going on. I can change things here and there. It's on the fly. It's a Wi-Fi connection setup. I can just get in there, download the new one from the cloud, and boom, you know, you get the point. So yes, a colder intake with a like handheld tuner programmer. You can contact different places out there like Lido, London, and so on. The list goes on of who you can want to trust to tune your car and what tune, you know, works best for you or your setup. All right. Well, I think this will be number 4, right? Yeah, number 4. And we're kind of zipping through these. Anyway, the 4th one I would recommend is maybe a Ford Racing intake, maybe a Sniper EFI setup. It really depends, and I'm going to try and dabble in this a little more for the next mod, number 5, when we get into that, because it's more based on combos. I wouldn't just buy this thing if you're just straight up NA. If you do have plans for the future for your car to be pushing more power, you know, doing like combos, that's why I was going to try and get into that a little bit. This would be great to do that. So Ford Racing intake, you know, the upper ones that sit up on top there. I was going to say this, these louvers right here add a lot of horsepower, but they don't. And they're just there for like, for nothing. Looks, probably. But yes, Sniper intake, Ford Racing one, these all work pretty well depending on what route you're going to take and what one you like best. And like I said, number 5 mod, when I get into that, I'll show you like these combinations and how this would really help you out. So stay tuned. Actually, it's next. Should I like sit like this so you guys can just see my entire car? Would that be great? I mean, you can't really see the entire car. It's kind of a lie, but I need to clean it. But okay, number 5. We're gonna dip into it, and it's basically my car setup. Going cams. So you guys see my recent videos. Cams are really great for the 3-valve, including 2-valve cars. And Coyote Boys, you just can't sound like us. Yeah, you do have the power. I give you that. But the 3-valves have a nasty sound when you do a full-blown exhaust with cams. Like I said, just look them up all over the YouTubes here. I got videos of my recent stuff of my car, and then also did a 3-valve video of a bunch of 3-valves and their exhaust setups. So there's quite a few cammed ones in there too. So definitely check out that video because it gives you kind of a detail of what they have done to their cars as in their full exhaust and cams. Mine, like I said, pipes, long tube headers, pipes, catted H pipe, Flowmaster Outlaw cat back straight out the back with the hot rod cams. Now, of course, there are better cams that can give you better power, better performance, whatnot. Like I said, do your research when you're buying cams. But yes, that setup will be good. And I'm going to talk about the combo now. So the combo with these cars, let me turn this around. Now, I'm not no like car genius, you know, I'm not some expert or anything like that. I'm turning around to face this now. But I'm going to talk about the combo setup, and it's basically my setup. Like, you can go, the reason I'm going to mention this because I've had people with like basically stock Mustangs go out and want to spend money on a Ford Racing intake and expect it to do great things. That's just negative, you know, it's not going to happen. What you need to do in order for this really, the combo effect to really work is really put your time and money into the car and do it right. I know I'm talking about 5 mods that might be up there in price, especially cams, they're not cheap. But let's just say this, if you're gonna do the Ford Racing intake or like Sniper stuff or do something like that in that ballpark, then you probably gonna do cams, and I suggest, like I said, long tube headers. And those combos together, they really work. They really open up the car, especially with a nice decent tune after all that is said and done. So yes, the combos, remember the combos, they work, it's great. Other little things I'm gonna throw in there that I know I'm not adding on to this list of, you know, 5, damn, look at all those bugs, that's what I get by living by the river. Let's see, pulleys. Underdrive pulley, you can change your underdrive pulley, that'll help out a little bit. The one-piece drive shaft is a nice little upgrade, even though you're talking, you know, again, getting a little up there in the number of being a price range of what, $800 to $1,000, depending on what one you pick. I do have the one-piece drive shaft in here. It's a Steeda drive shaft. I got it off of CJ Pony Parts. Works great. I love it. Had it on the car for about 4 years now. I think it's about 4 years. And I love it. I love it a lot. And plus, keep in mind, guys, the one-piece drive shaft is going to be lighter than your two-piece drive shaft, and that's a good thing. So, and another thing is, we are upgrading this on the channel. I was going to save it for later, but we are going to upgrade this to an MGW shifter. Now, this is another mod that I have not added to the 5. I'm just kind of throwing out my opinion of what you guys should do, but I really recommend you guys change your shifter to, like, what they call it, Barton, whatever, and then MGW. So MGW is going to be a great fit for this car. It's going to be an installation thing we're going to be dipping into and changing it, and then showing you guys my review of the MGW shifter. And no, that's not the MGW shifter, but we are going to dip into that as well. That's another big one I'd recommend you guys look into, is your shifter. Alright, hopefully this wraps this all up, right? Now, honestly guys, like I said, I'm not no expert. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to live your life, you know, but I'm just trying to throw you my examples of what kind of mods I would do if I had a 3-valve, brand new off the lot. Well, they're not really brand new anymore, are they? No, I'm living in the past. Anyway, but yes, this is my honest opinion of what I would do for like 5 mods. I'm just throwing them out there. And then there's also the little side ones like the shifter, the pulleys, the drive shaft, the upper lower control arm, subframe connectors. The list can go on and on. There's so much you can do to these cars, and it's ridiculous, but it's awesome. Hopefully this continues, because you know how the world's going today, that we can still buy parts and have fun with our cars, because to me it really, I mean, obviously you can tell I've done a lot of shit. And this has really kind of saved my life. Like, I could have been doing a lot of bad things, but cars really brought me out of that. I mean, I don't drink, I don't party, never really been a party animal. I don't really care for all that stuff. I always loved being around the car guys, learning, and just being involved in that group and that lifestyle, you know, because it just, I mean, it really helped me cope with a lot of stuff in life. And I think it just, you know, all around helps. So if they decide to take that away, I think it's going to affect a lot of people. I mean, not just me. So, hopefully you guys liked the video. Stay tuned for more content. If you do like this one, just, you know, hit that button, that subscribe button. I don't know where it's at here, but just, you know, hit it. Alright, catch you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.
The phone went all over the place. I wasn't ready.